audience. I'm unfortunately a New England Patriots fan, and I was at an All Eagles Super Bowl party with my colleague here, so that wasn't very fun this year. But I'm going to introduce you to Grant, and he's going to talk a little bit about FCFL, which is a really interesting existing business that is changing the game, so to speak, with giving fans control of the football experience. How many times have you been watching a game and had someone do something, or QB managed to play a pass that you wouldn't have done, or you wanted a 2-point conversion and they didn't actually go for it? That no longer happens with Fantasy Football League if you control the vote. So I'll leave it to Frank to talk more about, to Grant to talk more about that project.
Thank you. So, who's a football fan? Anybody? You? Football. Zach? Hands up. Security good. Terrible. That's kind of part of the problem, though, right? Like, everybody's a fan, and then you turn like 22 and you realize you're only ever going to be a fan. That ship has sailed. I'm not playing pro sports. And that's sort of, we are football fans, the founders of the FCFL, and we think sports should be more interactive. We think that, although maybe not everyone in this room is a football fan, sports is a pretty big deal. There's more soccer fans in the world than Christians. It's a big fucking audience. That's a lot of people. There's more sports fans than people in India and China combined. It's a really big addressable market, right? And for the most part, sports is cool, but it's not as interactive as it should be. So let's look at what it's like right now. He said, "Do not throw the fucking pass and you have Marshawn Lynch." And everybody does that, right? Like anyone who's a sports fan has had that experience. So we decided to do something about it. So 2 years ago, and this slide is unfortunately cut off, we bought a team. So I own a football team. Fucking awesome. Literally started sitting around a bar with a bunch of buddies. Thought, wouldn't it be cool if we bought a team, let the fans run it? And that's what we did. So we bought a minor league arena football team ended up being in Salt Lake City, but the fans voted. They chose everything. They chose what city we played in, they named the team, they picked the cheerleaders, players, they even chose the names of the concessions, designed the logos, the jerseys, the whole thing. And it was a hoot, and it did really well. So our little small town team in Salt Lake City was great. It was a ton of fun. We got national news coverage. We built a really cool app where fans would get points. We called Fan IQ for the better they did at calling plays. Most teams in our league would average around 1,000 views a game. We are about 100,000. We created partnerships with Sports Illustrated and Amazon. Had by far the best attendance and the best offense in the league. We went for 2-point conversions more than anyone else, and we got the most. And our quarterback won Rookie of the Year. And actually, so we got to the end of the season, we thought, well, this is really cool, and it worked really well, but, 2 minutes left? You guys better hurry. So we're playing in a league that is a bunch of other traditional teams. That's not interactive enough. So now we started the Fan-Controlled Football League. The first ever blockchain-built, fully interactive league. 8 teams, all managed by the fans. In partnership with IMG, running our production, CAA, our business side partner on sponsorships and influencers, and we have another partner who is supposed to be in a decade, who's about the stream grants. And we have built it on the blockchain. You'll say, why blockchain? Like, great, okay. You got a sports team, just do the word blockchain on it. Isn't that cool? But there's actual real business reason behind it. We ran into this recurring problem last year when the fans would vote for something, and that fans vote didn't win. They'd say, bullshit, you guys are lying. Like, that's not the real results. Because imagine how mad that fan was if he didn't actually vote. Now imagine if he'd voted for Run and they passed the ball. He would never believe that his vote was recorded. So the notion of having transparency to let fans really feel the control is a really big deal. Additionally, is tokens. Taking our Fan IQ and actually tokenizing it so it becomes a real transactional piece of value that different fans can trade with each other, play against each other for, and turn into a real competition. hence the fan token. The cool part about fan token, which stands for Fan Access Network Token, is that it is applicable across all leagues, including the leagues and sports that have massive global adoption. I'm a big Warriors fan. I don't think Steve Kerr is ever going to let fans decide who should take the last shot. But you can imagine them rewarding the best Warrior fans for being the guy who gets to give Steph Curry the ball and shoot the shot from the tunnel before the game. So you start thinking about the practical applications of actually tokenizing sports, and it's pretty cool. And yes, we are football guys. One of my co-founders did play in the NFL. I did not, quite obviously. But we do have a really awesome team of developers with pretty deep experience in the blockchain and crypto world, including co-creator of Ethereum, founders of Bank4. As of this morning, Peter investing us in the developing team, are investors as well. And we also ran an SEC-compliant pre-sale, which we're still in the midst of. We did a public pre-sale with Indiegogo. We're the first company to do it. We raised $5 million, our hard cap, in 8 days, and we're now in deep private mode. And for our last video, I'll show you what it's like to be a fan.
Offensive coordinators up here.
When you should call the game, if you can hear it.
Well, fourth down, big play. What do you call it?
I'm going to pass. We still got 11 yards to go. I
He
don't want to
says
see him
pass.
pick yet. I want to see him pass it in.
It's kind of a rough
He's
start.
real excited.
It seems to be coming back now. What do you think?
He's
Yeah,
a
I'm
sweet
actually pretty
beat.
encouraged. Fans are doing pretty well to get a couple of good drives in there. We're getting better.
All right, Ben and Noel, thanks very much. Enjoying the game.
And it really is so much fun when your play works. It's like Madden, but with real humans.
For it here. Furlong Reed drops back, lots of pressure, looking deep into the end zone. Touchdown!
What a great fan play, though.
What a great fan. How was that?
Yeah, a couple of quick questions from anyone about this project, SCFL.
What is the kind of response to this blockchain thing? I mean, you mentioned that blockchain is unique for transparency. How do fans react to transparency that is brought by blockchain? So
Yeah, what about players too?
Good, really good question on both sides. So I think fan response to the notion of transparency is like they almost don't believe it, right? Like you think about your favorite sports team. Well, you don't really know what goes on. The notion that we're actually letting them sit in the draft room and call the plays, and that like they get to see the results of it, and it's real, is kind of a little bit of a mind-altering notion. So I honestly think they don't believe it, most of our fans. But I think once they see it in action, they're pretty excited about it. In terms of the players, so we are not the NFL. We don't make no bones about it. We're not trying to take on the NFL. We're trying to create a new version of sport that involves interactivity with fans. And for players, particularly in American football, there's no minor league system. So there's, a few thousand guys who graduate every year from D1, D2 schools. Only a couple hundred actually make the NFL. There are literally thousands of guys, 21 to 24, who are really good football players who are now Uber drivers and personal trainers, still looking for a break. And we don't offer them a platform where they can get national exposure and build a name for themselves and get tape, as they call it, eventually get brought to the NFL. It's pretty good.
There's like a big bounty at the end of the season, right?
There is, yeah. Winning team and their fans will get $1 million as a prize pool. And the players, they get paid. It's like, any normal, it's not the highest paying salary sport in the world, but they get paid and you pay for their sort of room and board throughout the season. And honestly, the really fun part, I can't tell you the amount of times we had players who would score, and they would, after the games, we'd let the fans come on the field, they'd sign autographs and stuff, and the frequency I'd hear players saying to fans, hey, great call, thanks for calling my number. Because imagine if you're a player, you're a wide receiver, and fans call a play, and you got a touchdown of it, you literally are thanking the fans for you getting points.
Yeah. What's the sustainability and your long-term goals? I mean, looking at things like XFL and other leagues that have tried to get off the ground in this instance.
Yeah, sure. So I think the couple of things. One, as I mentioned, I think it was a good point about the competition. Certainly not something we use the NFL. We play out the season of the NFL. We view this as a new take on the sport. I think the scale in football, long term, football's peaking right now, right? I think the long-term scale of football is concerning. That's why the notion for us of this big thing can be applied to various sports and various leagues at different levels, right? We happen to be going all the way in with our own first application of the token, letting fans run everything, but the concept is to use the platform token to be able to have everything else do it. So I think that is a greater growth of scale and sustainability.
Cool. One more question. Sorry. No. Do we have a question? No? Yeah.
Is this a ERC 21?
Yeah, ERC20 compatible token. The plan is to have all of it take place on Ethereum blockchain, although I think the real-time voting for play calling is the scale we had was just one team. It was too much too quickly. I think the non-real-time votes, things like logo, team name, the standard current blockchain will support. We're looking at other blockchains and the possibilities inside chain support. The good news is we won't have live real-time play calling until probably 10, 11 months from now, so hopefully the platforms will develop that. But we're not building our own blockchain, so we're relying on the industry improvement.
Thank you. Thanks, Brendan. Rumor has it if you tokens, you can probably name one of the teams